What's up, legends? Welcome back to another Unmatched strategy announcement. No guide today, as Mondo just recently announced that Deadpool is coming to Unmatched. Although this bombshell was dropped around April Fool's Day, it's not a prank, trust me. This is not another fake tier list video, guys. This news is pretty surprising, for one, because the publishers have mentioned straying away from solo packs after Bruce Lee, and this is a solo pack, so I guess truly anything is possible, except getting the other Jurassic Park sets released. And if you recall, almost 4 months ago when I made the Marvel Unmatched announcement, Deadpool was not one of the 12 heroes listed. Apart from the teaser tweet we got about a week ago, this is coming pretty much out of nowhere. So today I'm going to go over some logistical aspects of the pack and then take a quick preview look at Deadpool's health, ability, and some of his cards that were revealed. Nothing too in-depth today because we don't have full information on the set and the deck isn't super serious to begin with, so just keep that in mind. Alright, let's get right into this preview with maximum effort. I had to. Okay, first things first, this set is available for pre-order right now. So you could actually wait until this entire video is over, of course, and then go buy it. Because Deadpool is someone else's property, you'd have to go to Mondo's website, not RG's. And this costs $18, which is a step up from Bruce Lee's $15. But I guess sparkly bases have just gotten more expensive these days. This is an online pre-order, so you'll have to pay for shipping as well, which in the US where I live is about $10, and I suspect it will probably be more if you live in a different part of the world, which brings the grand total of this purchase to upwards of $30 with tax. Now, some of you might consider that to be an insane price to pay for a solo hero pack when 4 packs are going for just under $40 right now on Amazon. There's always the option to wait for retail to avoid the extra shipping expense, and especially since this doesn't ship until July, you won't really be penalized that much in terms of time for choosing not to get this right now. I insta-buy everything with an Unmatched logo on it, but what you do with your money is entirely up to you, and if the dollar to value ratio doesn't look good to you, I don't blame you for waiting or skipping on this one. On to the more aesthetic aspects of this pack, the art direction is completely Deadpool-esque and doesn't look like a typical Unmatched set at all. The lore behind the creation of this set was revealed in a Twitter thread where Deadpool, peeved that he wasn't chosen to be part of the 4 future Marvel sets, decided to just make his own set. So naturally, he drew himself on cards from existing decks or just made cards out of completely random things like IDs, subway tickets, and used napkins. Ugh. So the look of this set is completely different than every other Unmatched set, which makes sense for the character but might annoy some perfectionists with an oddball set disrupting the perfect harmony on their Calyx shelf. Someone raised a concern about the appropriateness of this set in the RG Discord given the graphic nature of the recent Ryan Reynolds films, and one of the designers confirmed that this will be kid-friendly, which matches the rest of the Unmatched lineup. This deck is a Highlander deck, and as the saying goes, there can be only one copy of each card in your deck. It was only a matter of time before they made a character with a deck of 30 unique cards, and of course it had to be Deadpool. All card games have some sort of deck like this, and it's going to be pretty cool to see this in Unmatched, albeit it might be horribly inconsistent. On a similar note, some of the cards in this deck break the fourth wall, revolving around things in the real world and not the game. Your opponent's name, card sleeves, food on the table, and whether or not you are currently wearing pants, hint, I'm not right now, are all valid triggers on cards, which again fits Deadpool very well, but combined with the Highlander aspect makes this deck not super serious and potentially problematic in competitive situations. But if you're going to purchase and play with this character, you probably understand not to take it super seriously. Not that this is a meme deck necessarily, but it's Deadpool. You should know what you're getting yourself into. Alright, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The actual content inside the box. I suppose I'll put a timestamp here so people can skip right to this section if they can't be bothered by details such as price and art. So be sure to just wave to whatever device you're watching at right now and say hi to all the people joining us at this part of the video. So Deadpool is a melee character, which I guess makes sense since he has katanas, as he would call them, 10 health, which is absolutely horrible for a single hero, and a move value of 2. His ability, though, says after you attack, Deadpool recovers 1 health. So this gives him one of the most consistent healing powers in the entire game, and it is kind of a compensation for his insanely low health. The lowest hero health before this was 13 with Dracula, Robin Hood, and Alice. And I guess the Raptors each have 7 health, but you have 3 of them, so it's like not the same. But 10 health is not a lot. Someone pointed out you could actually just kill him in one shot with like an unblocked Gaze of Stone, and that is very scary. So characters with big attacks like Forever Hide, the Ancient Heirloom, or Beast Form will all be very potentially lethal to Deadpool if he doesn't have good block cards. The second part of Deadpool's ability says, if your opponent's real name is Logan, all your attacks are +5. This is, of course, a reference to Hugh Jackman, who plays the X-Man, The Greatest Showman, whose real name is Logan. Just kidding, it's Wolverine. But, you know, it really sucks if your name is Logan, because then you'll just lose every game you play against this character, which very fitting. Also, if you look at his health dial, just like Little Red and Beowulf, there isn't a 0 when he runs out of health. There's something a little bit more thematic. So now we'll look at some of his cards. Here you can see he has 3 feints. The classic feint, which is taken right from Dracula's deck with just Deadpool masks drawn over the faces. He has feint, which with an A is from Sherlock and Watson's. I think it's the card Administer Aid. And you actually get to knock your figure over and make a fainting noise before you recover 2 health. So that's kind of funny. And then you have Super Feint, which, just like the Ancient Heirloom, cannot be canceled. So that's cool. And obviously this is from the Robin Hood deck. Because, of course, if Deadpool was going to give himself feints, one of them was going to be Super Feint. Like, you just had to expect that. Some more cards are... I have no idea what this card is called, but you can play it as a ranged attack, which is cool. You have a card with a choice on it. I love cards with choices just because they give you a chance to make meaningful decisions. And then we have what looks like a business card that, again, is a source of healing. So that's kind of cool. Here we have 3 examples of cards that just look nothing like Unmatched cards. And continuing that trend, we have like an actual hero trading card that Deadpool has of himself. And of course, it's a 6 value attack with no text. So this is like Excalibur and larger than life. And here we have 2 napkins as cards, which are both very meta. Call Me says, during combat, if your opponent's name is on this card, its value is 4. Well, how would your opponent even get their name on this card? Well, the after combat effect says your opponent writes their name on this card if it's not there already. So this is like a legacy game. You are writing on cards and it is permanently changed forever. So that's just really cool. I don't know if I'll actually write on my cards or just like write it down on a different piece of paper, just remember, but it'll be cool to see this in action. And then we have Chimichanga Break, which says, if there's food on the table, the value of this card is 5 instead. This will never, ever trigger when I am playing in real life, but, you know, there are some people with food on the table and unsleeved cards that want to risk it all. And speaking of unsleeved cards, I'm not wearing any pants says, if this card isn't sleeved, its value is 5. And then after combat, if you're not wearing any pants, go put some on. And that's an Invisible Man card, and I just think it's so funny. We have Super Feint again, and then there's Passwords, or I've Been Hacked. No idea which one it is, but the after combat effect says your opponent looks at your hand and chooses a card for you to discard. There's a full image of it somewhere else, but it's cool because it's a 5 value attack, which previously only appeared in Willow's deck, and it's just a natural 5. It doesn't have an effect or anything that increases it, but it comes at a cost of your opponent getting a forced discard on you. So I guess it's cool to see cards like I'm Not Wearing Any Pants, I've Been Hacked, and Chimichanga Break that can act as really powerful block cards for someone that doesn't really have that much health. And you can see Gaze of Stone stolen right from Medusa's deck because, of course, Deadpool would give himself that card. And we've already seen this card. And the last 2 cards are Excuse Me While I Grow Some Limbs, which you can potentially discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand if you win the combat. It's probably unlikely, but it'll be really powerful when that happens. And Eat Me, which is from Alice's deck, but it's a scheme, not a block card, and it has nothing to do with actually saying Eat Me. But you get to say Eat Me 3 times in one combat if you lose the combat, which if you say it a 3rd time and you actually won the combat, that's cheating, and I'll never play with you ever again. And that's it for the reveals thus far. I only included cards that I could get full image captures of, so I'm probably missing some, but by the time many of you are actually watching this, there's bound to be more, if not all the cards revealed. There will be links to different articles and Twitter threads in the description, and look for the Dracula video up near the end of this week. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, like, subscribe, and yeet!